Welcome back to Learning Keyboard with Demoz School of Music. Your teacher is Noel, a professional keyboardist and accomplished musician. Previously, we demonstrated a fun and interesting progression that you can use to practice the keyboard. If you haven't watched it, now would be a good time.
Hello, welcome back to another episode. I'm Noel from Demoz School of Music, and in today's lesson, I'm going to talk to you about a sustain pedal and how we can apply it to the song we learned in the previous episode. Now, what is a sustain pedal? Now, below here, I have basically a portable sustain pedal, which is linked up to my MIDI controller, and as you can see, it's a mechanism that basically is up all the time, but when I press it down, it goes down. Now, what does it do here? What does this up and down do, right? So basically in this context, it's engaging my keyboard to release the keys when I press them. So what do I mean by release? Well, when you normally press without the sustain pedal down, this is how it sounds, right? But if you do engage it and you tell, okay, release my keys at all times and keep it going until I switch it off manually, it does this. Right. So let me just switch that off and it goes off. Now, you could notice that there's a slight difference in the term of release. Now, release means that it should keep playing, right? But here you could see that decay, like that small little softening and volume. Like you can hear me initially attack it, and you can hear that it slowly dips in level. Now, in the piano's context, what does a sustain pedal do? You might also have heard people call this a damper pedal. Now, the sustain pedal in a piano basically is that there are strings in a piano and the damper is released off of it when you press it down. So when you release the damper, what happens? The strings usually have a point of contact where they hit when the hammer hits the strings and is immediately disengaged when the hammer goes off, right? So that damper, which prevents the sound from continuing, is released, and when the string is hit with the hammer, it goes on. Dampers off, right? And when you pull back your sustain pedal, dampers back on the strings, right? Similarly, a sustain pedal works here basically as an engager and disengager, right? So in an electronic keyboard world, this is basically you're telling on and off to a sustain pedal in a real world context. So let's see how we can use this. And if I play that, normally that would sound like, oh my god, there's so too many things happening. Why? Because let's say I just do a glissando from top. You heard that it cuts off, like each note is disengaged the moment my fingers are off them. But if I did it with a sustain pedal on, it'll keep going until I release that. Or until the piano sound decays out. So let's go to that chord progression we did in the last lesson. Right? Now, what happens when you engage and how to use it? Basically, when you are about to play the next chord, the first on the one beat, quickly disengage and engage your sustain pedal. So go 1, 2, disengage, engage. Disengage, engage. Same thing for every chord. Keep switching it out. So that is how you use a sustain pedal with a chord progression. So let's just play the piece with the sustain pedal for the throughout the whole song. Okay. So that is how you use a sustain pedal and how basic you can use a sustain pedal. One thing I would like to point out is that please do not abuse your sustain pedal. When I say abuse, do not, just hold it down all the time, and just because it sounds full, don't, resist the urge to keep it through and through two different chords. The more notes you're introducing, the more cloudy it sounds. So don't go for that as a beginner. Use it only on one chord. Quickly disengage and engage it back to the next one. So with that, I conclude my lesson on a sustained pedal and how you could use it with a composition. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care of yourself. Do like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.